Hello friends! Remember the cocktail smoker I built in my last video? Well, it was such a hit that I decided to build multiples of it. Now I'm in need of product boxes with custom cut foam inlays so the smoker can be sold or gifted as a set in a classy way. So, follow me and lessons anfangen. For the project, I'm using pieces of cherry lumber. Let's start by cutting the wood to size. I will be using my miter saw. Eyes and ears, and we are ready to go. The box requires 4 pieces for the sides and a top and bottom piece. If you don't have lumber wide enough for the top or bottom, just cut multiple pieces the same length and glue them together. For the glue up, I'm using Titebond glue and my clamps. I couldn't find my brush, so I just used my finger to spread the glue. I always end up getting the glue all over the place anyways, so why not just get my hands dirty right away? When you tighten the clamps, it is important to get a correct amount of pressure. Too little and you will end up with unsightly gaps. Too much and the wood will either bend or jump out of the clamps. See? Just like that. Just readjust the pressure and let it dry for a few hours. Let's go clean up these messy fingers. While this is drying, let's start by cutting the grooves into the side pieces. I'm using my table saw to do so. On each side, I'm leaving a distance of 4 cm measured from the outside. This is where I start my first cut for the groove. Apply even pressure while sliding the wood piece over the blade. Adjust the fence after each cut. The blade is set to a height of about 5 mm, while the lumber itself is just under a centimeter thick. For the side pieces, you need 1 groove for the bottom piece and 1 groove to slide the lid in and out. Once the glue on the lid has dried, cut off a groove along the edges of 3 of the sides. This way the lid can be inserted into the grooves of the sides. And this will be a perfect fit. I've built multiple boxes at the same time. For the first box, I decided to cut pieces to length first before making the miter cuts. I just couldn't wait to start. The better way to go about is to first cut the grooves and then cut the pieces to length by cutting the miter. But you can really do either way. Or you could just cut the miters first and then add the grooves. It's really up to you. Each way you will end up with a box. Make sure you mark the pieces correctly, since if one is off, the box is not rectangular. Make sure the blade will cut right along that line. And now, let me proudly introduce my newest addition to the workshop, my Festool sander. With my Festool dust extractor, holy cow, what an investment, but well worth the money. And now, let's get to the sanding part. Now say again that sanding cannot be fun. The next step is to assemble the box. To do so, I'm using glue and straps. However, putting some tape around the corners works wonders as well. Now while this is drying, let's work on the foam inlay. There are multiple items that I'd like to add to the box. First off is the smoker, the whiskey glass that I engraved, a propane torch, different boxes with wood chips, and some additional screens. Let's try to figure out a nice layout for it. Alright, I think that's going to be my final layout. However, I like to do two different boxes, kind of like a starter pack and a premium pack. And that will be the layout for the starter pack. To trace the items, I'm using my flux laser cutter and my beam software. Just add the items to the flux, close the lid, and the laser cutter will spit out a creation. No, just kidding. It's not that simple, but almost. Scan the surface with the laser head to get a picture of the items, then trace the items. Add the packaging foam sheet to the laser, double press the button for automatic height adjustment, and we are ready to get cutting. And somewhat like magic, you open up the box and take out your inlay. Now you just have to pop out the material inside the traced shapes. Pop, 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 pop. Isn't it beautiful? I love how clean the lines are. Now let's try it out to make sure everything fits. Perfect! And we are back in the workshop. The boxes are fully dried. I'd like to enforce the corners with splines. Therefore, I'm using my simple spline jig to cut even grooves into the corners. Use wood glue to squeeze splines into the cracks. You can totally pre-cut those splines. I just went ninja on it. Or in other words, I was too lazy. Once the glue dried, I used my Japanese pull saw to cut off any extra. After all it's cut, sand it smooth. Let's tie that hair back for the power tool. And let's have a little bit more fun with sanding. And I guess that was super quick. The box is sanded smooth and ready for the finish. Like always, I'm using Mica Made liquid hydration and finishing it off with Mousse Magousse wood butter. Yeah, I swear I didn't pee on that. Just look how the wood grain starts popping. It's beautiful. Now let's do the same with the lid and then let it dry. To assemble the box, I decided to glue a piece of Eva foam on the bottom of the foam insert. I like the way the different colors pop out. I decided on red for the starter box and blue for the premium box. And we are fertig! Like always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the love and support. Please like, comment and subscribe.